Hey everybody, I am sitting here waiting, so I wanted to share a dream with you. I had a dream submitted to my private Facebook group, Dreams and Riddles, which, by the way, if you're not a part of that and you're on Facebook, I invite you to join that. There's lots of dreamers on there, and people share dreams, ask questions, and I answer a lot of those personally. And in that group, there's also several people who have gone through my Language of Dreams course. So you'll get lots of insights, not just from me, but from a lot of other wonderful and wonderfully trained dreamers. So check it out. Go to Facebook and look for Dreams and Riddles. But this dream, I was praying over it, and I really feel like the Holy Spirit gave me revelation as to what it means, and I wanted to share this with y'all because I think this might be really helpful. And it shows you how sometimes we see people come into our dreams and we're like, what on earth? Why is this person showing up in my dream? So in this dream, okay, the dreamer said that she had a window dream. So in other words, she was standing in front of a window, and she was dressed as a bride in a full white gown. I mean, you can just imagine it, right? Dressed fully as a bride. But the curtains to the window were drawn so she could not see out the window. And behind her was her groom. And she said that her groom had his hands all over her, and she said it was gross. So obviously we get the impression that this was not a good feeling kind of dream. Even though she's in a wedding gown, there was something icky about this groom that was standing behind her. And it was Will Smith. And he said something along the lines of, it's like they can't even tell that I'm black. And that was the end of the dream. And when she woke, she immediately felt impressed to pray. And so she started praying about it, and she felt like something kind of break off of her. So it was almost like there was this oppressive presence. And as she was praying, that presence was lifted off of her and it broke. Powerful dream, powerful experience. So let's talk through a little bit about what this means. And I had to pray about this one for a little while because it took me for a loop, but I really do feel like the Holy Spirit gave revelation of it. So let's first talk about window dreams. Okay, whenever you have a dream where you're standing in front of a window or you're looking out a window, that speaks of vision. Something is being open to you, and you are being allowed to see beyond the normal boundaries that we would have. If you think about what a window is, it's a break in a wall, right? So if I stand in front of a wall, I can't see through the wall. But if there's a window there is now this opening through which I am able to see to the other side. Whatever is on the other side would otherwise be hidden from me, and I would not be able to see it. So when you think of this in spiritual terms, okay, that's what a window represents. Something is being open to you for the purpose of you being able to see beyond the normal boundaries. And God uses that a lot to show us vision for our future, visions for, what he has planned for us, things like that. So if you picture this dreamer, though, she's standing in front of this window. She's dressed as a bride, which is a beautiful picture of, okay, being prepared as the bride of Christ. That's wonderful. She's not able to see through the window because the curtains are drawn. So it's almost like there's this barrier. I kept picturing like the curtain in the, going into the Holy of Holies in the temple. There's this barrier there from her being able to see what the Lord has for her to see. And then we get the picture of, okay, what is it that might be interfering with that? And then that's when you get this thing that is posing as a groom. It's posing as something that is trying to sneak into this place of intimacy with her. And it is Will Smith. And I immediately felt like, obviously this has nothing to do with the actor himself, with this famous person. I immediately felt like it was a play on words. And I thought of that, okay, Will Smith, what would Will Smith be if this wasn't a person? What would the meaning of that be if it was more of a term or if it was a phrase? So we think of blacksmiths, we think of wordsmiths, right? The word smith is Old English, and it implies somebody who is able to take some sort of material and shape it or craft it according to the way that they want to shape or craft it. So they are manipulating this material, or they're changing it, or they're, shaping it, or doing whatever in order to come up with something else. And then if you think about the will, our will is our power center, right? Like if I have the will to do something, or if my will is being tested, this is the seat of my desires, of my passions, of my wants, and combined with my strength to either do or not do. So when you combine those two terms together, Will Smith, it's almost like there's this implied thing of something is coming up against this dreamer that is trying to take her will and shift it and craft it into something that would be more according to the ways of darkness instead of light. So what does this all mean when we pull it all together? The reason this dreamer, I would say, is probably having this dream is because there's probably something in her current spiritual life that correlates, okay? There might be a sense there that she's not able to get vision for, she's trying to see into what God is trying to lead her into, but there's something blocking it there. And the Lord is letting her know, like, look, that it's not you. It's not about you trying harder. It's not about you messing up or you doing something that's interfering. This is actual spiritual oppression. This is this is spiritual. This is a spiritual battle that you are in the midst of. So this dream was given to this dreamer to expose something. See, whenever we have dreams like this, it's not to scare us. It's not to introduce fear into our hearts. God is literally exposing something and letting her see, like, this is actually what is at play here. There's something that's coming up against your will, that's trying to arm wrestle it, that's trying to shape your will or pull your will in another direction for the purpose to be used for darkness. I mean, that is fascinating when you think about that. So if this was me, right, what would I do with a dream like this? Well, first of all, I would feel relieved, because if I was seeking God for something in my life, like for vision, Lord, what are my next steps? Where are you taking me in this next season? And I just felt like I kept hitting a wall. This dream would actually be a huge encouragement to me, because again, what is resisting me or what is preventing me from being able to see is actually not something that I'm doing or not doing. It's actually oppression that's coming against me. So now I would be equipped to know how to pray. And I would be able to stand in the spiritual authority that the Lord has given me. And I would be able to call this down and just come into deeper agreement with God and have this confidence of knowing how I needed to proceed. So I wanted to share that with you, okay? Because most of us would be like, okay, why was Will Smith's hands all over me as a bride in the dream? Like, you have to really remember, dreams are super symbolic, okay? So in partnership with the Holy Spirit like that, we start to listen and we start to hear, and it's actually, it has nothing to do with the person that showed up in the dream. It actually has to do with the play on words. So hope that helps. Let me know. Does this make y'all second guess maybe some of the dreams that you've had lately with rando people showing up in your dreams? I know it does for me. I know it does for me. And I'm just so grateful that God speaks to us this way, and that He doesn't leave us in the dark, and He tells us things and He shows us things that are at play so that we will know, and so that we can stand in confidence in our spiritual authority. Keep dreaming, you guys.